only 8 weeks pregnant, and I was like, can I do a yoga class? I'm like, well, make it really easy. But that was where you and I, just because you're a yoga instructor as well, but it was through that. And then during these yoga classes, whilst all of us girls were pregnant, you started to introduce the essential oils into our yoga sessions, and then we all just kind of latched onto the power of oils and how they have been so helpful both in healing and enhancing our lives and our little ones' lives ever since we met you. So Kate, I'd love for you just to give the ladies a little bit of a kind of like backstory as to who you are and to how you arrived at becoming an expert in essential oils.
Okay, thank you so much for having me first. So a little bit of backstory. I worked in media for many years, I think about 20 years in London. I had a super stressful life, and I decided around about 10 years ago that I would make that life even more stressful by becoming a yoga teacher and having quite a high-powered media job. So like in the mornings at lunchtime, I'd be like even more stressed trying to teach yoga, which kind of is a bit counterintuitive, but I knew I had a dream. And I had a very stressful job, and found kind of the stress kind of built up more and more for me, and ultimately I left that media life and came to Ibiza for a very different kind of life 5 years ago. I had a catalyst for that. My sister passed away and everything in my life just changed. You know, sometimes we have these massive, like, everything changed, you know, and I just realized that I had to make some big changes in my life. So I came here,
weren't you?
Yeah.
Just, you know, which made it all the kind of like more big. So I came here and started teaching yoga full time, and was fortunate enough to be teaching lovely mamas and pregnant mamas. And then I'd suffered from a lot of hormonal issues, and a lot of those I think were to do with the kind of stress in my life that I wasn't really addressing. I wasn't really addressing the root cause. And then when I came here, lots of things just naturally healed for me, but my hormonal issues didn't. And I used to suffer so badly with period pain. And I kind of have this belief that my womb was trying to tell me something and I wasn't listening. I was like, no, I'm not listening. And then someone handed me the oils, and I'd used oils in my classes, but I didn't really know what they were, or I didn't know. So someone handed me some doterra oils to try. Again, I didn't really know what to do with them, didn't really understand, started using them, and then just kind of started on this journey. And I started using them like on my tummy and smelling them. And then I started to notice that my period pain, like month after month, got better. And like over a 3-month period, I was like pain free. And I'd never had that in my whole life. Like when I was 15, I really suffered, you know, and it used to just take over my whole life. So I was like, wow. And I think that's actually, just to kind of pause on that, because you and I have spoken about this, about how painful your periods were. Like they literally meant that you couldn't move.
Yeah.
And, you know, you were absolutely paralyzed with pain, and nothing but at that point Nurofen Plus would do, right?
And it's funny because I had a treatment here and the guy was like, your liver is not in a good way. And I was like, I don't know why, I'm really healthy. And then I started to realize, I think it was because I overdosed on Nurofen Plus every period because I couldn't work. And, you know, we have to be like doing all the time. And I could never sit back and relax and enjoy and just chill out. Like people say, I had to just work. So the oils were just I had this light bulb moment that, wow, this is amazing. And that was really, for me, this big moment of then exploring. And now obviously I use oils in every aspect of my life, from my teaching to my skin to my supplement. Every part of my life is oily. And even when I see the little babies that I was a doula for, they're all like, they know the smells. I think they've been so sort of born into these aromatherapy smells that they're like,
exactly. No, it's so true, because Amaya has got like a real thing about, because when I used to use lavender a lot when I was pregnant, and then straight after giving birth I used grapefruit, and she just always gravitates towards that particular oil. Like whenever I'm using it, she's like, oh, you know, so mummy.
But we're going to talk about 3 specific oils, because just like you said, you know, your journey over these past few years of really kind of like learning to understand so much about oils means that amongst the vast array, and there are, like, as I've learned to discover, so many different essential oils and different blends of essential oils, that there are 3 in particular that you and I have discussed that we feel are really kind of like appropriate for you ladies inside this style plan, but also just for this period of time, post lockdown, kind of like this new change that's happening, getting used to the way that life looks now, and this recalibration of everything that coronavirus has brought into our lives, and really kind of like, you know, as I've always been saying to you, not to, you know, fall into the fear of it, but to actually see this reset that it's created as an opportunity to grow. So Kate, with that in mind, let's talk about these 3 different oils. So we're going to start with lavender, because of course, lavender being what you say to be the kind of like pinnacle oil in communication, which of course for so many of the ladies inside the style plan is massive, because communicating both these new thoughts and changes that have occurred in their life as a result of COVID and lockdown, like be it that they've, you know, just decided that they're going to not go back to work, they're going to set up their own business, or to the fact that now this has actually caused a major shift elsewhere in their lives. This is quite a key thing to be able to help them, to give them the power to communicate. So tell us a little bit about it.
So just to say, so I'm talking about these doTERRA oils, and they are different. Like essential oils are not all created equally, and a lot of essential oils that you buy are not so pure. These oils are another level of purity. And just to say as well, because I didn't know this, so some of your ladies might not know it, I had no idea kind of what they did. When you smell an oil, it goes into the nose, into the olfactory bulb, and it affects the limbic system, the emotional center of the brain. And within a second, so if you're feeling like within a second of smelling in particular this oil, it can affect your whole mood. It can affect like 20 trillion cells. Like one little smell can just change everything. So if you're having a tough day and you smell an oil, it can just affect your mood. So when we smell like this, just so you know, we call this aromatic use, okay? Sometimes what we like to do, if you ladies are busy at home, is to diffuse in a cold water diffuser. So you can just have it on in the background while you're working away, and have the oil on that way. And the other way that we use oils I'm going to talk about is you can use them on your skin. And with these oils, you can ingest them. So I'm just going to talk about that. But as we go through each oil, there's different properties. But for lavender, I'm really going to talk about the smelling property, okay? So the aromatic use. And this oil is almost like the mum of essential oils, okay? Like she does everything, you know, she's calming, great for stress, great for anxiety, great for burns, great for the throat chakra. So really helps you, you know, even if you're a really powerful woman, sometimes we still find it hard to speak our truths in so many different ways, with our kids, with our partners, with work. And it's always important. And sometimes, or if you're going into a big meeting and you know you've got to speak and you're not always feeling up to it, then you can take this oil, blend it with a carrier oil, either just have a little whiff before you go into the meeting, or you can just put some onto your throat chakra just to help you. And if you don't like the smell, then you can put it on your feet, and the pores on the feet are bigger. So actually you still get that smell. If you don't want to smell like lavender in your board meeting, you can put it on your feet and you get all of the properties. And indeed on little ones, on babies, that's what we often do, is we massage it on their feet with some carrier oil. And it's really nice for your kids, you know, to have that connection.
Exactly. This was a complete revelation to me when we first met and you started using oils on me. You were just like, put it on your feet. And I couldn't believe, even like, you know, the feeling of being grounded into the ground, like that planting of the feet from the oils, what a difference it made. And yeah, how that kind of comes up through the body. It's amazing.
Yeah. And for your, you know, for the evening, if you want to get into a nice relaxed mood, if you're finding it hard, so many of us, I think, have got so much overwhelm going on. There's so much in our heads, you know, and you might not be able to get to a yoga class. You might not be able to because you're so busy. So actually just to have your lavender, put it in the diffuser, put it in your hands. So what I do, and a lot of people don't do this, Claire, if you've got an oil, then join me, is I put it in my hands like this, rub my hands together and just...
you know,
just that takes minutes. And it's like,
you know what, stupidly, I've not got my oils here with me.
I'll pretend you've got one. But actually just doing that, you know, when you get home and you're a bit flustered and you've got to, you know, help your kids with their homeschooling and you've got the phone going, to just do that just completely changes the body. And I really, yeah, they're so powerful.
Yeah. It's so, I mean, lavender is just, for me, yeah, because I think a lot of us kind of think of lavender, you know, as the kind of like old school method of like drops on the pillow.
Yeah.
Whereas actually, like you say, you've taught me to use it, not just in the evening, but throughout the day. And exactly that, when I feel like I'm, you know, starting to feel anxiety build up, is just to literally... I've done that a lot, to inhale it, or again, just at night time, just roll it on the bottoms of my feet. Certainly I remember doing it a lot when I was pregnant, just to roll it on the bottoms of my feet, because I had such a kind of thing about smells. Just be, right, okay, I'm just going to put it on the bottom of my feet, and it would just really kind of like calm me down. And as you say, also, I have found so much benefit from it, from being able to communicate better as well. There's something so like soothing about lavender that is just, yeah, so helpful. So amazing. All right, so that's a good one for knowing. So ladies, if you've got any questions, I'm not too many come up. Let me just refresh my screen to make sure that we haven't got anything. No, please, like I say, if you've got questions about these oils, do drop them in the comments below the video. Okay, right, so that was lavender. So let's move on to talking about the next oil, which is lemon.
Lemon. Okay, cool. Okay, so so lemon is a different oil. So lavender is a flower, lemon is a citrus, and the citruses tend to wake us up a little bit. You know, if we're feeling a bit flat in the morning and we know we've got to kind of get on, then lemon is a great one to put in the diffuser. It's the oil of focus. So it's a great one for your kiddies. You can make a little roller for them. This is a little roller with a little roller top. You can make a little roller and roll it along their spine. We need to be careful with the citruses because they're photosensitive. So if they're going in the sun, we need to be mindful. But this is a great oil to help with concentration and focus. So again, if you've got a million things going on and you really just need to be focused on that one thing that you need to do, then this is a great oil. And again, you can smell it from the bottle, you can diffuse it. Or another thing that you can do with the doTERRA oils, and I'm only talking about those oils because they're so pure, is you can put a few drops in your water. So I put like 1 or 2 drops, quite big, into my water like this. And then I drink that throughout the day. And what that does is when you squeeze lemon into your water, you're getting the vitamin C from the fleshy part of the lemon, but the antioxidants are actually in the rind of the lemon. And with the lemon essential oil, there are like thousands of lemons in that. So you're getting a massive dose of antioxidants, which really help our liver and our kidneys really flush out toxins. And for a lot of us, for me, I'm perimenopausal, so I have to be really careful of my liver and keeping everything really clean in my body. And this really helps. Every day I put a little bit in my water and then I drink it throughout the day. So I'm not being focused only on the outside, but I'm being cleansed on the inside. And it really definitely gives you a little boost in energy as well.
Yeah, so I just want to jump in here because you gave me a little sample of the lemon last week when we were talking about what we were going to cover inside of this workshop. And you said, well, put it into your water every morning, because I was like, you know, the trouble with lemon is that when I use actual lemons into water, I've got really sensitive teeth. So I get that I find it very difficult to drink lemon water, even though I know the properties of it being really good. It just really makes my teeth super sensitive. So I've been trying this because I was saying to you also, like, I've got this kind of like coffee addiction going on at the moment. You're like, look, this is going to really help to energize you. And I think you said to me, what I've been doing it is to do the apple cider vinegar with the lemon drops. Oh my God, having a glass of that every morning it has really, really helped me to curb my coffee addiction. Like, seriously, I do now feel that energy in the morning, because Amaya's like getting up at crazy o'clock in the morning at the moment. So I'm like, oh, like a walking zombie. And I've always kind of like relied on having that first cup of coffee in the morning. Whereas this now, like literally since last week, that's cut it out. So using these drops, because again, you know, you've whenever we've been to parties, you always like, I've put the lemon drops in these little kind of like cookies for the kids.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, oh my God, having it as a glass of water in the morning. Wow, it's now solved the issue of the whole teeth thing, and now I actually feel so energized. So yeah, it's such a brilliant oil, and like you say, it really has again been one that I've noticed has just helped me to feel again focused, because I haven't got anything masked by caffeine. It's just pure kind of alertness coming into my body, and that concentration of like, right, okay, this is what I want to do for the day, and really kind of like getting into it.
Yeah. Totally. Oh, good. I'm pleased.
Yeah. So yeah, so I just thought, you know, saying how amazing this particular oil is. All right then. So the final oil that we're going to talk about is geranium. Now, this is quite an interesting one, because I've only just recently learned about this again through you, how powerful this particular oil is in various different ways for helping the mind, body, and soul.
So this oil, so geranium is the oil of love and trust. And just so you know as well, I'm not like, I've sort of educated myself. I'm using this amazing book called Emotions and Essential Oils, which is amazing. And it gives you all of this information. It's not just me having this super knowledge. Just so you know, I'm just a regular girl. Just a regular girl.
Yeah. Huge amount of knowledge, and you've worked with so many different women, helping them with various different journeys, be it infertility to menopause to pregnancy to stress alleviation. I mean, there's so many different women's journeys that you've been on, that you have through your own experience really kind of like built up such a wealth of knowledge of, you know, how and when to use different oils. So it's I'm one of your biggest fans about
this. It's sort of, it's weird, because it's sort of, it just becomes that you just know it, and it's just, you know, I think as women we do have this intuition, and we do know a lot of stuff, and when you go to the oil, sometimes you're like, why have I gone to that oil? I don't really, that's not my favorite one. And then you start to look up why, and you're like, oh, that's what I need today, and I know that I need it. And geranium, I think we all need in our lives. It's the oil of love and trust. So it's an oil that really helps restore our innate trust in ourselves, in our own abilities, in our own intuition, and also, you know, in our relationships, in the world. You know, there's been so much that's gone on lately that has made us question, in some ways, like you say, for good reasons, and in some ways for not so good reasons. And this oil really connects. You know, I said lavender's about the heart, and this about the throat, and this oil is really about the heart. And, you know, from my own personal experience, when I came here, my heart was very closed, because I was still in grief, and I couldn't really open my heart. And then when I started using this oil, I would use it on just massage it like every day. My self-care is after my shower, I get my body oil and I put a little drop of lavender, a little drop of geranium, and my like 5 minutes of self-care is that I massage geranium with another flower, normally for me, all over my body, and I just give myself that self-love. And just massaging this on your heart chakra can have such a powerful effect. You know, I had a woman a couple of weeks ago, and she's got a lot of issues with sleep, and I sort of I kept feeling this oil, and I was like, I feel that you need this oil. It's just coming to me that this is an oil for you. And she got it, and she used it, and she called me the next day, and she's had this real emotional breakthrough, and she's like, could one drop of oil do that? I did what you said, I put one drop on my heart. And I was like, yeah, for some people, you know, they have this massive emotional breakthrough. For others, they don't. It can take a lot longer. We're all so different, and what you love, I might not love, and what works amazingly for one woman may not for another. So it's like this little journey of trying these oils, and I love it. I love handing them around at a class, and 10 women will be like, oh my God, I love it. And one will be like, I don't like it. And often that woman who really doesn't like it, that's the oil that she needs. Well, you know.
Okay. So that is really interesting. I mean, you know, I'm listening to this and I'm like, wow, this is so interesting. So can we just talk about the oil that you're blending the essential oils for massaging? Because I know that that's going to be something that ladies are going to ask. Can you just use any type of oil, or does it need to be a specific type of oil to be able to blend so that you can then massage your body? Because I know for me personally, when you told me about this, and I know for a lot of the ladies that will be watching this, that is something that will really be something I can do. That I can incorporate this into my daily routine and really benefit from essential oils. So what is that particular oil that you're using to then be able to blend the essentials with?
Okay, so firstly to say the skin is like the biggest organ of the body. So what we're putting on our skin, a rule of thumb is if you don't want to put it on your salad, then don't put it on your skin. Okay, you want to put something that's like you would eat. So this oil that I'm using here is the doTERRA fractionated coconut oil, but I also use organic almond oil. I use jojoba oil. So if you're using an oil on the skin, on the face, I like to use the jojoba oil because it's a more nutrient dense. So this is a carrier oil. So when you put an essential oil on your skin, some of that little plant compound goes off into the atmosphere. But when you use a carrier oil, a natural carrier oil, it draws it into the skin because it's heavier. It's an actual oil. Whereas this lavender, it's not oily. It's not going to make like your hair oily, but this will. So I like this because it's coconut oil with a fat taken out, so it stays runny even in the winter. Even in England when it's cold, it stays runny. And what I tend to do to make life easier, because generally we want to use essential oils with carrier oils unless we're putting them in our water. So what I tend to do, and this is a good tip for mums as well, I always recommend that mums get their oils and they make up little rollers with about 25 drops of oils if it's for them, and then they have them in their bag, because so many women don't open their box of oils. And I'll be like, use yours? No, I haven't opened them. And I'm like, I tell you what, buy these on Amazon, make up a lavender, a peppermint, a lemon, put it in your handbag. And when you're out and about and you're in traffic and you get a little bit stressed, grab it out of your bag and put that lavender on you. Or when you're feeling, it's the afternoon and you've got a meeting and you're like, oh, I'm tired, get your lemon and peppermint and roll it on your temples. And so many women and girls on my team are like, Kate, I'm so glad you said that because I had it in my bag and it helped me so much. So I'm like, sometimes I'm out and about and I'll be like, there you go, you have that. You need that oil more than me, and I just give them away.
Exactly. The rollers are such a good thing, and like you say, you buy those rollers on Amazon, and then that's it. You make it up, and then it's in your bag, good to go. I mean, I have one that you gave me for Amaya, which I use so frequently on her. Again, when I feel like, you know, she's just sort of like getting a little bit sort of like, you know, towards the end of the day when she's getting tired and a bit frustrated, along with me, I just sort of, you know, roller us with the essential oil, and it just to calm a situation down. It's amazing how powerful, just like you say, just these tiny drops of oil can really be. It's amazing. So fantastic. Okay, so geranium, that's really good to know about being able to massage. Now, what we wanted to conclude on with this talk is just you explaining, like, because you've talked about doTERRA oil specifically, and I can see somebody has mentioned about doTERRA here, and I just want to see who it is, because I think it's Francis. Okay, Fran, that's so interesting. I had no idea you were into doTERRA oils. That's so amazing. And Miriam says, it's such a revolution. Never knew all of this. It would be great to hear what brands to buy, avoid. So great. So Miriam, this perfectly leads into this next little bit of, we want to talk specifically about doTERRA, and also Kate has a little offer for you Style Plan members exclusively if you would like to learn more about essential oils. So Kate, I'm going to hand over to you to just kind of like just to sort of round up on the doTERRA brand, and also how they can work with you or contact you.
Okay, so and I didn't know this, essential oils are not all created equally. So you could set up an essential oil company tomorrow and you could put natural on there and you could sell those, which is really misleading for us because we don't know what we're putting on our bodies. So doTERRA oils are therapeutic grade, so they're like above organic. Okay, so wherever you buy organic can mean different. If you buy organic in England or Amsterdam, it can mean something different. So what doTERRA do is they spend millions on third-party testing their oils. So they reject about 70% of their oils that are sent to them because they're not high enough grade. You have to be a doTERRA oil, you really have to be like an A++ student. And you have the oils are so stringently tested, and their whole business is based on purity and empowerment. And the reason I said about this book is because what doTERRA are about are empowering us, people that maybe, you know, mums that don't have these tools, to have an app on your phone that can support you, to have books. So if you're out and about and you're like, oh gosh, my child's got knits at school or something, and you're like, oh, I'll go on my app, and you can, like, I think it's about £3. You can go on this app and look at what oils help, so that actually you can have these tools. Yeah, it's a sister company, Modern Essentials. And it just means that you don't have to be an aromatherapist. You don't have to, you know, be someone who's been doing it for years. You can have all these tools so that you can bring these, you know, natural solutions into your home. So, you know, I work with some aromatherapists on my team. I'm not. And I love having them on my team because they do have all of that, you know, the qualifications and all the skills, and they always say that these oils just go to exactly where you need in the body like no other. And they actually, you know, I've had so many instances where they use other oils and they're like, hey, you know what, doTERRA are a different level, I've chucked my old oils out. And the way we use these oils, you know, therapeutically, I wouldn't take and I wouldn't use them on a pregnant woman, you know, and that's why I'm such a massive advocate of these oils. And they do so much good work for women, humanitarian work and stuff for girls. And
all of us ladies, particularly inside the Star Plan, as you know, as the kind of like collective of mistress, you know, one of the things that brought us all together inside this membership is the fact that we hold the same values in terms of working and supporting brands that are about empowerment and also just offer sustainability and have high values in different areas. So this, you know, for us, it's a great brand to sort of, you know, buy into. So yeah, it's great to know all of this backstory.
Yeah, and also for your community, I'm offering one of these little bespoke rollers that I'll create specially for whoever wants one. So a blend that I love is, I love this hormone blend, which we call the Superwoman blend. And it's a mixture of oils that really support the hormones, cedarwood, geranium, lots of beautiful oils, clary sage, which is like the #1 for women. And I'll make up a little, if you want the Superwoman blend, then I'll make you that up. But if you're like specifically, you're like, I really want this and this, and I'm happy to make you up a blend that's bespoke to your needs.
If you know, that's so kind of you. So in order for the ladies to be able to get in touch with you about, you know, talking about blends and to be a little bit more in depth about essential oils and to learn more about what's going to support them, because we've only talked about 3 specific oils, the 3 kind of like main oils that I felt were really kind of like, you know, would touch each and every woman inside the Star Plan. But I wanted, so how can the ladies go about getting in touch with you to just have a little bit more of a discussion?
So, oh, and just to say as well, that roll is an enrollment gift. I don't want 1,000 women to all be like, I want my gift. I'm like, no. So if you enroll with me, then you get that gift, just to say. I haven't got that many rollers in my house. So to get started, there's a few ways that you can get started. So so you could just pay €24. I'm not sure what it is in pounds. I think it's about £23, and enroll and get these 3 oils or whatever oils you want, or you could get a kit. And I do recommend getting started with a little kit. So if anyone wants to contact me, I can send you over like a list of all of the kits, and they're inexpensive, and you get your own little kit of oils. And when you enroll with a kit with me, you get ongoing support. So you'll get 3 one-to-ones. So we'll go through, you know, your needs before. We'll have a one-to-one and check which kit is best. And for some people, it is just to buy 2 oils. You know, for some people, it's the kit. So I really listen. We'll have a little one-to-one, a mini consultation to find out what your needs are, send you over the kits. You can have a look at the kits, and then if you buy a kit, you enroll with doTERRA for free, and then you get 25% off whenever you order. And that may be once again, it may be 3 times. Whenever you order, you get a wholesale account and you can get 25% off. So
Getting the kit. So basically, just to kind of like summarize, because I know some of the ladies that are watching this will, you know, it's all a whole new world, just even like thinking about essential oils, because that's part of what the membership is about, introducing them to just other ways of really supporting and empowering them. So so with that, would they can the ladies just contact you just because before they kind of go into the whole